So we've got to put the importance of the refugee agenda in the overall framework of what's going on to the geopolitical scene within the European Union. And that is the rise of far-right parties and populist parties. What I would say, and I'm giving you a condensed answer version of it, but what I would say is that the challenge is less so in our duty to protect refugees, which is there, and we have to honor that duty. It's more so in what Ayaan was addressing, and that is what we do when refugees are in our country, and that's about integration, and it's about education programs, it's about citizenship programs that emphasize the culture in this country. The New York Times recently ran an article, and they interviewed a refugee who was attending a voluntary program about women's rights, which it's voluntary at the moment in Europe. And he said, this has really been really valuable for me because, quote, I'm not making this up. He said, because in the country I come from, he was a Muslim.
Eritrea.
Yeah, you've read it. He said, in the country I come from, we're used to taking women, stealing them from the streets and raping them, and then they get married to us. It literally said, that's a quote from the guy, right? That he gave to the New York Times.
He said, if I want a woman, I take her when I'm in Eritrea.
Yeah, I take her off the street, rape her, and her family will marry her to me to save themselves the shame of me having raped her, right? So you've got somebody who's, whether that's a generalization of his own culture or not, somebody who's got that concept in his head, who's come to Europe and is willing to speak about it to the press. So we've got a situation where people often say, is our culture better than other cultures? I'm sorry. I have absolutely no hesitation in saying that universal, liberal, democratic human rights standards are better than that anecdote that this gentleman has related, right? So when we're fulfilling our duty as human beings to our refugees, we have to basically have not voluntary. I wrote about this in my. I don't think they should be voluntary. I think as part of the citizenship program, this stuff should be taught. That what is the culture of the country you have sought to make your home? You want to live here. This is how this works. That can only help these vulnerable individuals when it comes to skills, jobs, language, and their economic and cultural status. It can only help them. I know because I come from those communities where even in my own close family members, some of them still don't speak English, and the difficulties in getting jobs and the economic challenges that poses. And then what that does is it hinders their ability to be role models as mothers and aunties and grandmothers for their kids who then join extremist groups who have been born and raised here, right? So we have to fix this problem, and that means not shying away from the fact that some things are better that we have here, and I would say very clearly they are the liberal human rights democratic values that we've come to cherish.